ಮೆಡಿಸಿನ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೊರಡಿ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್.
ನೀವು ಮೆಡಿಸಿನ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ನೀವು ಮೆಡಿಸಿನ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೊರಡೋದು ಪ್ಲೀಸ್.
ಮೆಡಿಸಿನ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೊರಡಿ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್.
ಮೆಡಿಸಿನ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೊರಡೋದು ಪ್ಲೀಸ್.
ಮೆಡಿಸಿನ್
ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೊರಡೋದು.
ಇಲ್ಲ, ನಾನಿನ್ನು ಬದುಕಬಾರ್ದು, ನಾನು ಸಾಯಲೇಬೇಕು.
ನಮ್ಮ ಮೆಡಿಸಿನ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಕಿಡ್ನಿ ಡ್ಯಾಮೇಜ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಂಪ್ಲೇಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
ಸೊ ಒಂದು ಪಂಚಕರ್ಮ ಸೆಂಟರ್ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಅಂತ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ.
ಸೊ ಅಲೋಪತಿ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ ಅಂತಿದ್ದೀನಿ.
ಏನು ಮೇಡಮ್, ನೀವೊಬ್ಬ ಆಯುರ್ವೇದಿಕ್ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಷನರ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೀಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಲ್ಲ, ಹೀಗೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ಏನಾಗಬೇಕು?
ನೋಡಿ ಡಾಕ್ಟ್ರೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ನಮಗೂ ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ, ಬಟ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡೋದು, ನಮ್ಮ ಹೊಟ್ಟೆನ ತುಂಬಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ.
ಮೋರೋವರ್ ಅಲೋಪತಿ ಮೆಡಿಸಿನ್ ಚೀಪಾಗಿ ಸಿಗ್ಬೇಕಾರೆ ಮತ್ತ್ಯಾಕೆ ಈ ರಸ ಪ್ರಿಪ್ರೇಷನು, ಟಾಕ್ಸಿಸಿಟಿ, ತಲೆನೋವು?
ಈ ರೆಸಾರ್ಟ್ ಬರೋರಿಗೆ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಪಂಚಕರ್ಮ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಮಸಾಜ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಸಾಕು, ಕೈ ತುಂಬ ಸಂಬಳ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ದೆನ್ ವೈ ಶುಡ್ ಐ ಟೇಕ್ ರಿಸ್ಕ್?
ಸರ್ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಸರ್?
ನೋಡಿ ಡಾಕ್ಟ್ರೆ, ನಾನು ಹಿಂಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡೋದು.
ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮೆಡಿಸಿನ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೊರಡಿ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್. ಮೆಡಿಸಿನ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೊರಡಿ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್.
ನೀವು ಮೆಡಿಸಿನ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೊರಡೋದು ಪ್ಲೀಸ್.
ಮೆಡಿಸಿನ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೊರಡಿ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್.
ಮೆಡಿಸಿನ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೊರಡೋದು ಪ್ಲೀಸ್.
ಮೆಡಿಸಿನ್
ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೊರಡೋದು.
ಆಯುರ್ವೇದ ಅಮೃತಾನಂ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಆದರೆ ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ಮಸಾಜ್ ಸೆಂಟರ್, ಸ್ಪಾ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಪಂಚಕ್ರಮದ ಅತ್ಯಾಚಾರ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ರೆ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕಡೆ ಆಯುರ್ವೇದ ಪ್ರಿಪ್ರೇಷನ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಟಾಕ್ಸಿಟಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಕಿಡ್ನಿ ಹಾಳಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೂ ಕೂಡ ಸುಮಾರು 70% ಜನ ಅಲೋಪತಿ ಮೆಡಿಸಿನ್ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರೆ, ಇನ್ನೂ 30% ಜನ ಈ ಟಾಕ್ಸಿಟಿ, ಕಿಡ್ನಿ ಡಿಸೀಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಹೆದರಿ ಬೇರೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದೇ ಆಯುರ್ವೇದ ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡಿರೋ ನನ್ನಂಥವ್ರಿಗೆ ಸಾವೇ ಕೊನೆನಾ? ಅಲ್ಲ, ಆಯುರ್ವೇದ ಓದಿರೋ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ಹೆದರಿ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಆಲ್ಟರ್ನೇಟಿವ್ ದಾರಿ ಹುಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಕೊನೆಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಸೈನ್ಸ್ನ ಉಳಿಸೋರು ಯಾರು? ಇವತ್ತು ನಾನು, ನಾಳೆ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬ, ನಾಡಿದ್ದು ಮತ್ತೊಬ್ಬ, ಹೀಗೆ ಒಬ್ಬೊಬ್ಬರಾಗಿ ಆಯುರ್ವೇದನ ಬಿಡ್ತಾ ಬಂದರೆ ಮಣ್ಣಲ್ಲಿ ಹುಟ್ಟಿ ಚಿಗುರಿ ಬೆಳೆದು ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ನೆರಳಾಗಬೇಕಿದ್ದ ಆಯುರ್ವೇದವನ್ನು ಆಲದ ಮರ ಮಣ್ಣಲ್ಲಿ ಮಣ್ಣಾಗಿ ಬಿಡಲ್ವಾ? ಇಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ಬದಲಾಗಬೇಕು. ಇದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊನೆ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಆಯುರ್ವೇದ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಟಾಕ್ಸಿಟಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಕಿಡ್ನಿ ಹಾಳಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದೆಲ್ಲ ಸುಳ್ಳು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು. ಜಗತ್ತಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೂ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು. ಹೇಳೋದು ನನ್ನ ಕರ್ತವ್ಯ ಕೂಡ. ನಾನು ಒಬ್ಬಂದಲ್ಲ, ಆಯುರ್ವೇದ ಅನ್ನೋ ಮರದ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಕುಳಿತಿರೋ ಎಲ್ಲರದ್ದು ಕೂಡ. ಇದ್ರ ವಿರುದ್ಧದ ಹೋರಾಟದ ಕಿಡಿ ನಾನೇ ಆಗ್ತೀನಿ. ಈ ಕಿಡಿ ಆಯುರ್ವೇದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂಟಿರೋ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಳಂಕವನ್ನ ಸುಟ್ಟು ಬೂದಿ ಮಾಡೋಷ್ಟು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಬೆಂಕಿ ಆಗೋವರೆಗೂ ಹೋರಾಡ್ತೀನಿ.
Greetings to everyone. So today I'm going to give you a brief introduction about what's understood in respect to the Rasaushadhis and the renal system. Basic concept is when we see about the formation of urine, Acharya speaks about the formation is through the gut. So the formation is in the gut, the treatment should also be given to the gut there, not specifically to certain organ or some other individual places of the body. So next comes about the problem with the people understanding the renal toxicity and the metallic complications or the metallic basmas which we are usually prescribing in the Rasaushadhis. So it's a myth to speak about, like people started to think, yes, it is heavy metal. Yes, it is heavy metal, no doubt in that. But we are not asking the patient to take mercury, lead and tin orally. We are converting it in the form of basmas and then giving it to the patient. The quality of dhatu and the basma is entirely different. It is a nanoparticle. The modern science speaks about the macro or the macromolecules. It speaks about the nanotechnology, and their chemistry and pharmacodynamic and pharmacokinetic is entirely different. So on that grounds, nanomercury is non-toxic to humans. But when we speak about the rasabasmas or the mercurial preparations in the form of ash, people give a tall claim stating like they are toxic. It's not so. Definitely it can be given to the people, and there are large number of studies carried out at various centers in India in the Department of Pharmacology and also in the postgraduate and the PhD level for the project reports. Also huge number of combined materials are being quite evident, and the nanomercury and nanometals are non-toxic. It is also known to the nano world. Unfortunately, it's a myth being caused like these drugs are going to affect the kidney. Say for example, you have given 125 milligram of basma to the patient. It's not like the whole 125 milligram of the basma which you have given to the patient is having 6 microns, 4 microns and 10 microns. Definitely it is with varied sizes. They are called as macromolecules and micromolecules, or macroelemental particles and microelemental particles. And all these microelemental particles which are lesser to 6 microns are usually penetrating through the gut mucosal membrane and entering into the system, and the concentration of these micromolecules or micrometallic components is very less, or it is almost negligible dosage. And this is enough to cause the therapeutic effect in the patient. That is the reason why Rasashastra text speaks about alpa matrasya upayitvat. So you need a very small concentration of medicine to show the therapeutic effect in the patient. The macroparticles which you have, which are more than 6 microns and above in the basmas, are stimulating the receptors in the gut. There are specific metallic receptors found in the gut, and these gut receptors will have their effect on the humans in various levels. Might be it's in the enzymatic level, might be it's in a hormonal stimulation, or in the formation of the normalcy of the biological events which is going to happen in the human body. On this grounds, both the components of the basma in the form of macro and micro particles are quite important and equally important. Of course, the amount of medicine which has been absorbed literally into the systemic circulation is highly negligible, and that amount is not going and accumulating in the kidney. At least I haven't observed any cases wherein there are been renal toxicities because of giving some metallic basmas. Or to be on the other side, I have in fact given the metallic basmas in the patients suffering from renal complications. Might be, as I told you previously, it is a urinary tract infection or renal cell carcinoma or raised creatinine levels because of n number of reasons. All these things are very true in case if we want to say like the basma is to be properly prepared. In case if you happen like you did not prepare the basma in a proper way, you have prepared it in an improper way, or you have prepared it in a wrong way, then definitely anything can be toxic. Even water can be toxic if it is taken illogically. Similarly is even the basmas. If it is prepared well, they are absolutely non-toxic and very safe to either systems of the body, because none of the Ayurvedic textbooks have claimed like these bhasmas should not be given in either of the renal pathologies. So the nanoscience, nanopharmacology, nanopharmacokinetic and nanopharmacodynamic, it's entirely different. Don't compare it to the metallic nature of the modern sciences, considering like the metals are going to kill your kidney or kill your patients. Provided only one thing you need to consider is whether it is being prepared properly or not as per the classical textbook. We have our own measures which our acharyas have claimed about for giving a proper method of Shodhana, Marana, Amrutikarana. These are various zones where people have given. And even the textbooks have given lots of references about the toxic symptoms. Say for example, you did not prepare a Tamra Bhasma in a proper way, Acharya speaks about some toxic symptoms which are being appreciated in the patient. Parada, if it is given without proper Shodhana, what are the toxic symptoms seen in the patient? So none of these toxic symptoms compiled from all the textbooks of Rasa Shastra never implied any toxic symptoms like the renal pathologies in either of the textbook. So none of the acharyas have claimed a renal toxicity with the metallic bhasmas, and even we haven't elicited anything like that. If at all there are any studies being done on that way, it is to be evaluated with the formulation method, the classical reference and the method of formulations which is being done in the form of pharmaceutical processing. You just pulverize a copper, name it as Nana copper and give it to the patient, or animal experimentation, claim that as Tamra Bhasma, it is illogical. You have to prepare it as per the classical textbook in the form of Shodhana, Marana, Amrutikarana, and then give it to the patient. Only then it is therapeutically active. If not, none of the concepts will have their base, none of the concepts will have their stage to hold upon to say that either of these metallic bhasmas are toxic, especially to the kidneys. So this is what I would like to tell about the concept of Rasaushadhis in renal complications. Thank you.